Hello, everybody, and welcome to Curtis's Podcast Network. I'm the host of the channel. My name is Curtis Brown, and this is AFC South show 136. We're going to be talking all about Week 17 and all the games that went on. So if you're a Titans, Texans, Jags, or a Colts fan, you've come to the right place. I am the Texans fan on the channel. With me, as always, our resident Jaguars fan, Isaiah Michele, a.k.a. Duval's finest, a.k.a. the Glitter Kitty Conquistador. And then speak softly, carry a big stick, our resident Colts fan. And the man looking down, but is not Downs himself. Blake, don't ask about the Snowbelly. No. He's our resident Titans fan. So let's get into the games. Just kidding. Housekeeping. 416 subscribers. The next fun goal is 420 for, obvious reasons. And then 1,000 because money. But 35 like goal on this episode. Still have not hit it yet. We've gotten mildly close. We got it in the 20s one good time. But you can help us. Hit the thumb, do the thing, click it. All right? Notification bell so you don't miss any future content. Now we can get into the games. Boys. Let's talk Carolina Panthers, Jacksonville Jaguars, 26-0 victory. The Panthers are almost as disgraceful as their owner, right?
At least they weren't throwing shit at people, I mean, Cam Robinson might have thrown someone's helmet, but it's fine. Whatever.
Supposed to do that.
It's a tit for tat kind of thing. You throw
nice to have somebody with a little edge back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean Jacksonville looked good against a terrible team, what you're supposed to do, but we haven't done that lately. So it's nice to see us actually do good against a terrible team instead of getting our ass kicked by whatever. Josh Allen had 3 sacks. He officially holds the Jaguars single season sack record at 16.5. Trayvon Walker got 2 sacks. He's now up to 9 on the season, which is a big improvement over 3.5 last year. So he's been developing really well. He's ranked 47th in pass rush win rate. Not super consistent, but he's playing well. Great run defender. Defense just looked really good. Rayshon Jenkins bobbled a ball around for what seemed like 5 minutes close to the sideline, and then he finally smacked that bitch out of there because he was like, if I ain't getting it, ain't nobody getting it. But yeah, no, I mean, it was a good week. We shut him out. CJ Beathard did what he needed to do. He isn't going to win you games, but he's not going to lose you games either. He was really consistent with the ball. He didn't have any turnovers. Crazy what happens when you're not running reverses on 3rd and 12 and trying to throw a screen every single time you line up on offense. Like I've mentioned before, I'm pretty sure I've mentioned it before. I may not have, but as of 2 weeks ago, Trevor Lawrence was the only quarterback in the NFL with more air yards than passing yards. Let that sink in. So that was cool. He had like 90 less yards than he had air yards, which is however that works. So, it was nice to see us actually try and move the ball downfield. Travis Etienne busted off a 62-yard touchdown run to officially cross the 2,000-yard mark in his career. So that was really cool to see. He had a pretty good game. Mostly smaller stuff besides that big run, and he had another really solid run. I think he's over 100 yards for the game, 2 touchdowns. Tank Bigsby looked decent. Antonio Johnson had a good game. He had a tipped interception. Brandon McManus hit some field goals. I think that was a good confidence booster game. We really needed that because Brandon McManus hadn't made field goals in a couple weeks. Tank Bigsby has been dropping the ball and doing stuff all year. We've really just limited his touches. We really need to get our second round tight end more involved in things. You draft a guy in the second round, you expect him to play more. But no, I mean, really just against the Panthers, pretty complete game by Jacksonville. Moved the ball well. Ridley had a couple solid catches. They actually did say, and this is more for the preview, but it was kind of big news, potentially by tomorrow they could be activating Christian Kirk to return, like in the return window. So he might actually be back for week 1 of the playoffs, so that's big news for Jacksonville. We're averaging like 40 less yards per game and like 5 less points per game since he left. But yeah, I mean, just a good win by the Jags over the Panthers. Trash fucking owner David Tepper. You're a dickhead, dude. 300,000 is a drop in the bucket for this guy. Honestly, he's lucky. He's lucky that he did it to such nice fans. There definitely some fans in Jacksonville that would have climbed up to that booth window and beat the fuck out of him. So he got lucky. I know I would have if I was strong enough to pick my ass up through the window, but I was not there. Buddy of mine went in my place. But it's just nice to see that we can actually still beat bad teams. But we got to beat the Titans, and then we're playing the Browns. That's going to be a tough one. But I mean, solid week this week.
Yeah, it's not necessarily locked in place that the Jags, regardless of the outcome, are the AFC South champions. They are locked into the playoffs unless right? They're no matter what they're in.
No, so if we lose and the Steelers win, we are out of the playoffs.
Damn.
Because then the Steelers will have 10 wins, the Colts or Texans will have 10 wins, and we'll only have 9, and that's the 4 seed and the 7 seed locked up.
Okay.
Yep.
Fair. All right. So, got to win. What about the Titans? Do you think might give the Jacksonville Jaguars some trouble this week? Or what? Wait a minute. Yeah. Do you never mind. Wrong show. I'm just ready. I'm ready.
You're doing it again.
I'm ready for Saturday.
We're talking playoff. Oh man.
I haven't been around meaningful football in a long time, and my heart's racing already. And let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Next year.
Playoffs begin Saturday. I don't care that it's
for a lot of teams.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Playoffs begin Saturday, so
not you, Blake.
No, but Blake can play spoiler, which would be a lot of fun for any team.
Yep. We would appreciate it.
Who's we? You're not going.
Damn.
Bullshit.
Bullshit.
I know. Bullshit. Y'all are making it.
Yeah, exactly. Playoffs. Texans.
Do you want to bet a jersey on it, sir?
I've done it before. I'm not doing it again. I'm not made of money.
Yeah, did you get that Levis jersey yet?
I have not been able to order it yet because they don't have the one that I want, but I will be getting one.
I mean, I can get you a Will Levis jersey. It just won't be the Oiler one.
I want the Oiler one. I want the stitched Oiler one. And the problem is...
Oh, you can get the DH Skate has that one.
Oh, do they?
Yeah. It's 35.
Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, I'll order it tonight. You crazy?
Yeah.
Oh,
after tax and after shipping, all that 35.
I forgot about DH Gate.
Yeah, good jerseys.
Shouts DHK, where that sponsorship money at?
Yeah, I got a few miles there from them too.
Yeah, we're not in it for the sponsorships here.
Does anybody before we move on have any comments at all about the Panthers Jaguars game?
Yeah, I mean, there was no question that the Panthers were just a disaster of an organization even before the cup throw. I mean, everything they gave up for Bryce Young, who just, I mean, it's a rookie year. It looks terrible. Their line is terrible. There's no.
It's literally Bryce Young and then no one else.
There's nothing on this.
Adam Thielen.
It's been completely gutted. And he's 5'2". He might be shorter than Kyler Murray.
It's really just Adam Thielen and no one else.
Yeah, it's just Adam Thielen. I don't know who the coach is anymore. I knew it was right just because Colts, but
I have no idea who their coach is.
I don't know. I have no idea. So Jaguars winning wasn't really. We kind of wanted the Panthers to beat them. We knew it wasn't going to happen. It was just an efficient day for Beathard. No mistakes. ETN. I don't know. I don't remember the last time I heard him going over 100.
It's been a while because our offensive line.
Yeah,
I'm not even gonna go there right now.
Just a good rushing game that the Jaguars pretty much controlled it throughout. I started the Jaguars defense. Unfortunately, the other guy had Dak Prescott and Lamar Jackson. I got my ass whooped. But yeah, Jacksonville, was a good start for me, but it didn't mean anything.
Yeah, dude, Lamar Jackson this weekend, most passing touchdowns by a running back in one game.
Yeah, that was impressive.
Oh my god!
It was just a complete game by him. So
yeah. It was. I mean, the Jags fully handled the Panthers.
And in the previous show, I told them to run the damn ball, and they ran that damn ball, 150
Yeah.
yards on the ground, and yeah, ETN looked great.
Yeah.
Even Tank Bigsby looked great. I think he only averaged like 3.5 yards a carry, but
Yeah, he did. He did pretty decent. You know, he had that one play at the end of the game. He carried like 4 dudes for a couple of yards, and
that's why he's a tank.
Yep, he pretty solid.
And Agnew, man, love giving him flowers. That dude's a beast.
Yeah, he got hurt.
Yeah,
In that big play, but yeah,
nice.
dude's solid.
So the score predictions from last week had us. Blake said Jacksonville 24-17, which was over. The 37.5 point over under. I said 17-9 Jacksonville. Jeff 20-17, and Isaiah 24-17. We all had Jacksonville winning. I was the only one who went under.
We all had the Panthers scoring points, which was clearly wrong.
Yeah, clearly. I mean, and the 6-point spread by the Jags. I mean,
There was a 6 in there.
yeah, it was. We know that was a bad team. We know that you're supposed to play well against bad teams. The Jags have been struggling lately. That was a good get-right game, in theory, going forward. You've got the legs back under you a little bit. The waves aren't rocking the boat so hard. And now we can kind of, nose to the grindstone, figure some shit out. I think the Jags are pretty solid. I'm not going to lie. If you guys do end up playing the Browns in the playoffs, I actually think you guys will win because I know you guys narrowly lost to them in the regular season.
And this depends on if Trevor Lawrence is back or not.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be, but,
We'll
they
see.
haven't really said much about that shoulder.
Let's go to the Las Vegas Raiders and Indianapolis Colts game. Final score was 28-24, correct?
23-20. I said 28-24.
Oh, okay. 23-20.
23-20.
Okay. 23-20
yeah.
score.
23-20. Yeah, it's Aiden O'Connell. It happened the way that I thought it would. A lot of this, zone coverage, and he was able to sit back, and Devontae was able to get open quite a bit. But yeah, that's just the kind of defense that Gus Bradley does. I think he blitzed, if I'm not mistaken, like 3 times in the game, and twice he got home or something like that. But when your blitz rate is 66%, let's not do it. But there was an interesting. I think a lot of the time, Juju was on. What's his freaking name? Myers. So I want to say, let me see here. I have the stat here. Where is that? Here we go. So apparently with Juju on Devontae Adams, there was 8 targets and he allowed 4 receptions for 48 yards. So Juju did really good on Devontae Adams. I think it was Jalen Jones when he was on the other side is where he was kind of getting those big plays. But it's Devontae Adams. So I kind of expected him to have a really good day, especially with letting we always let the quarterbacks kind of sit back and relax. But defensively, Buckner, he's a monster. I can't believe at the time that Ballard acquired him, he was like the 3rd on the depth chart in San Francisco. It's just a great grab by him. He's proven to be one of the best in the league. But yeah, I mean, offensively, the Colts they were efficient. Minshew was solid. Didn't light it up, but he almost had 10 yards per attempt. Jonathan Taylor almost did 100 yards. There's a lot of fans, chat pages that are, Jonathan Taylor did that on the first drive and the last 2, and they went away from it, blah, 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 blah. Shut up. I mean, he had 21 carries, almost 100 yards. I would have liked to see a little bit more, Sermon and Goodson kind of mixed in, with Zach Moss out. But, they still went over almost 130 yards. So I'm happy with that on the ground. Minshew didn't turn it over. If I'm not mistaken, there was almost a fumble, but Pittman recovered it. So it was really nice to have him back out there. Just great heads up play by Pittman. It didn't really show in the the stat sheet, but he had a solid game. Some really big first down or grabs for first downs. Pierce had a really big catch, 58 yards in the touchdown. Josh Downs had a really big 50-yard catch. So it was just a few explosive plays that kind of blew it up. I don't think there was ever a time in this game where I felt that the Colts were going to lose, despite what the scoreboard says. I mean, it was all done pretty much in the second half for the Raiders. So, but there was never a time that I was, oh, yeah, the Colts, oh, God, they're going to lose. It was, for the most part, yeah, they got this one in the bag. I will say, though, that onside kick at the end by Carlson, man, that had me take a deep breath. It was a beautiful onside kick. It almost worked, but EJ Speed had a great game. 12 tackles. Franklin with another 10. I don't know how far he is ahead in leading the league in tackles, but he's got to be close to 180 when the season's over.
He's got 170 tackles. He's 2 in front of Bobby Wagner and 4 in front of Foye Lucan.
Yeah, I feel like Franklin's probably going to finish up with 180. Hopefully, hold on to the tackle leader for the league. But yeah, it was just really nice to see Pittman back out there. There wasn't a whole lot of yardage to go along with it, but just his presence kind of drew coverage and opened up things for Pierce and Downs. So it was nice to have him back. Nice to see him playing healthy again with that concussion looked kind of scary. So it was good to see him back. Jonathan Taylor kind of had to get right game. Minshew didn't turn it over, so I'm happy with that. He's almost always had a fumble or an interception, so it was nice to see. I just wish we'd see more blitz packages. I'm getting really tired of quarterbacks. Our front four is really good, but it's not always going to get home when you're going up against 5, 6. If you add in the tight end, but you got to bring some more pressure. Just letting Aiden O'Connell sit back there for 300 yards, letting Devontae Adams run open. Just this team against any other playoff team it's going to be rough if that's how they're going to play it. So I hope they tighten that up and get a little bit more aggressive. But man, the Colts offensive line, Braden Smith made a big difference. They only got 1 sack on Minshew. Max Crosby kind of wreaked havoc in the run game in places, but that's a good performance to let up just 1 sack. So I'm happy with how the line did, especially with Smith back. Bernard Ryman has vastly improved over last year, so I'm happy with where he is at left tackle. Overall, it was just a good team win. Pretty mistake-free. There was like a pass interference that everybody's bitching about. It was it should have been a pick six. No. He was rubbing him, grabbed his jersey, pulled himself forward. It was pass interference. It wasn't a pick six.
Yeah.
If he hadn't done it, it would have been.
Yeah.
I've been kind of harsh on the refs. I felt that it was pretty, I didn't see anything to really complain about in this one. I felt that they were pretty consistent, and yeah, it was pass interference. Yeah, it sucks. The pick six came off the board, but don't interfere.
Yeah.
So, it was a good game by the Colts. It was one that they obviously needed.
Yeah,
I'm happy with it, man. We're talking playoffs now, so
right.
I'm excited.
Let me ask you a question, Jeff. At the defensive line as a whole, if you had to assign their performance this season a letter grade, what would you give them?
Are we talking with Grover because he was out 6 weeks, or without?
The whole defensive line, everybody.
One of the top. I'd probably give him an A.
Okay. Well,
they're one of the top in the league with sacks. And
the linebackers, what grade would you assign them?
I want to say an A, but I'd probably say a B just because the whole issue with Shaq, and that it's tough, man. Because I like Franklin and Speed.
Yeah. What would you
solid B plus
secondary?
With their overall like high D or C, it's been pretty rough. Kenny Moore's had some good plays. Jude McGrath has shown flashes, but he was hurt most of the year.
Yeah. Do you think that, well, one, just as a defensive-minded kind of guy, do you think that they're part of the reason that Gus Bradley doesn't blitz so much is because it would put extra pressure on the secondary, which is already admittedly either young or not so great?
Well, see, that's where I feel like the pressure would help them.
Pressure helps so long as you don't have to take somebody out of coverage. You have to be able to supplement that.
Well,
So if you're taking somebody out of
I'm tired. What I'm saying I'm tired of seeing is we're not bringing pressure, and coverage is breaking down. So at least blitz. I'd rather see a blitz and someone wide open than not blitz and receivers be wide open.
Yeah.
At least try.
Yeah, but I feel like you don't do your like you can't do too many blitzes and just leave your secondary.
I'm not saying do it all the time. I'm just saying like more than 3 times is what. Like we blitz the lowest in the league.
Yeah.
So it's.
Would you? Who has a worse secondary than the Colts in your opinion?
Titans.
Like what? Carolina.
Carolina, the Titans, maybe.
Yeah.
Hold on. Actually, we're just gonna Google that real quick.
Titans have like 2 interceptions all year. Like it's bad.
Titans, yeah. Man.
Okay.
I'm trying to think here.
By yards alone, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are the worst passing defense. The best passing defense is the Carolina Panthers.
It sucks so bad out.
Because teams get short field position on them and they get turnovers on them.
Yeah, and then they run the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then the Browns.
The worst passing defense are always teams that are up by multiple scores late in games.
Yeah. Usually. The Texans are like the 6th most allowed yards. The Colts and the Titans.
Be up there.
The Colts and the Titans are neck and neck at 15 and 16 in terms of yards allowed. Now, we want to get real weird. Yards in attempt. Colts and the Titans and the Texans are top or bottom 10 in that. Texans at the 3rd worst yards per attempt.
Yeah, I mean, I knew coming into this that the secondary was going to be rough just because.
Plus, how can you sit here and tell me they're not getting, like, they might not have gotten pressure in that game, but the Colts have the 5th amount of sacks in the league.
But they're not doing it with a blitz. I'm saying their front 4 is getting home.
Yeah.
They're bringing 4, and they're just that good. But it's like if they're not able to do it, then there's nothing.
Right.
That's the problem.
Gus Bradley's probably been able to get away with it because of the front line. That's why the secondary is not blitzing and they're not sending the safety.
There are plenty of games where they've had like 0 or 1 sacks, and he still does the same. Like if they're not getting home for 3 quarters, why the fuck aren't we changing this?
Yeah.
Like obviously their offensive line is doing good enough to stop our front 4. Bring somebody else, man.
Yeah.
And it happens too often.
Boys, you got any Colts Raiders comments?
Really just the fact it was kind of like a boring game, I felt like, but Devontae Adams just like went nuts. I know it's nothing for the Colts, but that was really the only thing I really took away from it was Devontae Adams. I think he had like 14, 15 catches. It was just he went nuts. That's about it.
Okay. Isaiah?
I really don't have much to say about it. I thought the Raiders would win just because of how good their defense has been playing lately. But I mean, it was a really close game. But I mean, I didn't really have much of a dog in the fight besides wanting them to lose just because of playoff seeding and everything.
Yeah.
But I mean, outside of that, nothing else really to look at.
Yeah, I had the Colts winning this one, but I will say I was kind of impressed by their offensive line just for the fact that if you can hold Max Crosby to no sacks, like that's a huge win, especially they've been playing lights out lately. So I mean, big W for for the offensive line for Indianapolis.
Absolutely. Score predictions for that game were as follows. Blake, 14-10 Colts. I had 17-16 Raiders. Jeff had 28-24 Colts. Isaiah had 21-17 Raiders. Let's see. Yeah. Let's get into the Texans-Titans game. Rematch from a couple weeks ago in Houston. The Texans, the pretty much just took control early and then never let go. They were able to do they really didn't have to push the ball down the field. CJ Stroud didn't really have any deep attempts, really. Had like a couple that were like 15, 16 yards.
And they were completed.
Yeah, but like he wasn't trying to push the ball down the field. The offense was moving pretty well through Singletary and the short passing game and the short fields that they were getting occasionally. And Kaimi Fairbairn just making all the damn field goals as he does. I think against the Titans this season, I'm pretty sure he's 8 for 8, not including extra points, which would probably be like 11 for 11 or something. Because I think we only scored one touchdown in Nashville, and then I think we only scored one in Houston.
Yeah. No, you had two.
Oh, we had
a defensive one, and I can't remember who scored the other touchdown.
Oh yeah, you're right. Okay. All right. Well, the Texans pretty well just showed up, handled business, shook hands, and went home. Devin Singletary continued his effort from the last game, and it was nice. It was refreshing to see. The history of this rivalry has been slightly altered now. It's been consistently the away team winning since 2018, so history was made. Yeah, I mean, the Titans just kind of looked lackluster the entire game. Yeah. Will Levis got hurt early on a sack. And then was that the sack fumble that Sheldon Rankins scooped and scored?
Yep.
Yeah. He's questionable to play next week, Will Levis. So we'll see how that goes for the Titans. But do you have any Titans commentary tonight, Blake?
Yeah, I mean, it was ugly. I mean, like you said, I mean, it was Tannehill played most of the game. He actually played all right. I think he completed his first 9 or 10 passes. He played well. It's just the Titans' offensive line is just terrible. I mean, they're so bad. I mean, every time it was dropped back, they were either pressured, hit, sacked. I mean, it was rough, man. That offensive line is hard to watch. Andre Dillard, I said during the preview that once I realized that Andre Dillard was going to start, I said it was like 50-0. It ended up being 26-3 because Dillard, man, every time, like I don't know if he's colorblind. I don't know if he's blind. I don't know if he has Down syndrome. I don't know what he has exactly, but he has no talent. I will say that. Yeah. And he was so bad. He ended up getting pulled for Jason Duncan, and also just turnstile, man. Tannehill at the end of the game said he felt like John Wick at the end of whatever movie that is, where he was all beat up and bloody. And it is, man. Like
all of them.
I never knew who John Wick was. I had to look that up. But
it was. We'll get into that second.
We got to go on a whole different podcast.
No. We'll get into that here in a second.
But it was funny with because you know how quarterbacks always get their offensive line gifts. Well, Tannehill got them all watches, and Levis got them all suitcases, which basically means time's up, pack your bags because they were so bad. And the thing about it is Tennessee.
Get out.
Tennessee.
You write that one in the shower.
Bad. Like they're the only team in the NFL with two defensive players with double-digit sacks. Danico Autry is like 10 or 11, and Harold Landry I think has 11 or 10.5 or something like that. And like we were saying earlier, I mean, they don't really let up a whole lot of yards. It's just the defense is always on the field. So they're going to score some points. I mean, the Titans have a pretty good red zone defense, and we shut people out down there. It's hard to score touchdowns on the team. I mean, there's only, again, one offensive touchdown. The other one was defense. It's just Titans got a lot of issues, man. The defense really isn't one of them. Last year, I mean, like back in April, May, the Titans exclusively drafted offensive players. I think it's going to be the exact same this year. I think their schedule is 70% of the team is on expired contracts, and more won't come back. So I expect this entire team to look completely different. Build around Ryan Stonehouse, build around Will Levis, and
Build around the punter.
build around the punter, man. Best player in the NFL. And
That's funny.
I mean, it was bad. I mean, the Titans, we stink, man. Like, it was so bad about that. It's like everyone else under us also lost, so Titans are still at the 7th pick, which is frustrating. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I know this isn't a preview, but I expect Jacksonville to win. I mean, it's a must win for Jacksonville, and this is a must lose for Tennessee. So we'll see. Next reaction podcast, we'll see if Titans are head coach list, because I can see it happening.
Time to draft another quarterback. Woo!
I was just curious, so I looked it up. The Texans are tied with 2 other teams for the fewest amount of passing touchdowns allowed. In 4th place is the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The Titans do not play complimentary football like whatsoever. Like the defense, it's like this every time the Titans are good, and like the defense will be great, offense will be horrible, or it's always there's always something to hold the Titans back. We never play complimentary football, and that's why Titans are one of 8 teams that have never won a Super Bowl.
Yeah. The Titans are the fewest interceptions in the league with 4.
And 2 of them are gone. Kevin Byard is gone and T.R. Tart is gone. 2 of them are Amani Hooker.
Shit.
No, I'm sorry.
Shit,
One's
there are
Amani
teams with
Hooker
4
and the
picks.
other's Nick Cleary. I'm sorry.
And then tied for, I don't know, probably crap. I don't know, 11th. The Colts with 19. Where are the Jags at on this list? Y'all just don't exist or something? Oh, there we are.
They're in England.
Tea and crumpets. Jaguars game later? Of course. That's got to be reality for somebody in England right now. Well, maybe not right now, but at some point. Yeah, no, I mean, I kind of wanted to see Stroud get like fully back into the swing of things, but I keep hearing more and more about how his concussion was really severe.
We had a good preseason game on Sunday to get back.
Yeah, essentially. But he had like a pretty severe head, like it was questionable that he was going to play Sunday, which would have been his 3rd game in a row missed because of that. Which now I'm worried that he's going to be, 2.0, and I just don't want to do it. I need offensive linemen immediately. Like, can we protect this man, please? Laramie Tunsil's hurt. He may not be available. Will Anderson may not be available. Not looking hype. Not looking hype. But, I'm rooting for the Titans next week and the Jags. I don't know how it's both, but it is both. I want the Titans to win because it's the Jaguars. And then I want the Jaguars to win because I don't want to play the Browns. I'd rather play the Dolphins. And if we win and we make it to the playoffs as the 7 or 6 seed, that's who we'll play is the Dolphins. I'm cool with that. So, you guys got any comments, Texans, Titans?
A dominant game against another not so great team.
Yeah.
It was nice to see Stroud back.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like the greatest performance, but it wasn't bad. I mean, he completed 75% of his passes, so he was good. Is Singletary above Pierce now?
Yes.
Crazy. I never thought we would come into that would come about.
Yep. He's I think at something near 800 yards right now.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, and Pierce only had like 2 yards or average.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, Nico Collins had a good game. Jordan?
Brevin Jordan.
That's who got the touchdown.
That's the first. I was like, wait a minute, who got the touchdown?
I could not remember that for the life of me.
Yeah,
Sounded
he
good.
was a guy that was kind of on the roster bubble at the beginning of the season, and he's kind of worked himself into a nice like hybrid fullback tight end role because Andrew Beck's been hurt, the fullback, and he's been kind of flourishing in it. So I hope they kind of keep using him there. I think he's got another year on his deal, but he's a pretty athletic, 6'2", 240-ish.
Yeah, I was about to say he's just a little undersized, but he's really athletic coming out of college.
Yeah.
So what happened with Tannehill? Because I know for a while there he was not this year in particular, but like there was a stretch there he was looking really good. And now it's like, just
I think it's the talent around him.
possibly.
Yeah,
mean-
and then Traylon Burks, I got to shit on him real quick. Dude sucks, man. He dropped a beautiful bomb by Will Levis in the first quarter. Like, oh my God. Like, right when that happened, I immediately went on social media and it was just scroll. Burks sucks. Burks. I was like, man, that makes me so happy. I can't stand that guy. I cannot believe one of the biggest malpractices of this entire year is not trading him at the deadline because apparently a lot of teams wanted him. I don't know why they did, but somebody did. I bet the Chiefs was one of them. They should have given us a third. We could have just sold them third-round pick. I'm so happy.
I kind of feel the same way about Mo Alley Cox. Like he had a couple catches in the Colts game, but like there was a couple that were like right at him, and he just like hammer hand him down to the ground. Like, bro,
It's frustrating when you see like
Fucking
how
ball,
many
man.
athletes just suck.
What, you actually threw it to me?
just hammer hands. What you doing?
Yeah, dude's 12 feet tall, can't catch.
You know,
I
somebody, the John Mechie for the Texans has been getting some unnecessary flack lately. I feel like people don't really understand how leukemia affects the body.
Yeah, bro can catch cancer but can't catch a football. Come on.
I mean, it's not that he can't catch a football. Oh, like
He's never gonna be the same again.
he needs time to get back to the shape he was in.
Maybe it affects your immune system, not your hands. Catch the fucking ball.
Shut That's basically the kind of attitude that I've been seeing lately about John.
I have just become the enemy, like public enemy number one for.
Yeah.
I mean, after the draft party, and I'm just
Yeah. the kids are kidding?
the kids are kidding. No fucking way.
It's your immune system, not your hand catch a ball. Jesus Christ.
So he hasn't played much this season, and it's mostly because he's not all the way back physically yet. His ACL is healed. All that's fine. But the man is now trying to get back into football shape on top of getting into NFL football shape. Dude had to basically go from being a world-class athlete to getting sick, losing all of that, and now he's trying to get back to world-class athlete status. I mean, that's just – we got to give him a little bit of time. You got to give him a little bit of time. You can't just push the eject button because he slipped and fell on a motion. Fucking happens.
Yeah, I'm not concerned on Mechie. Mechie, he's one of those players that you got to give a lot of just grace to. Like it's gonna take a minute. Like I haven't heard that the Mechie hate, but dude literally had cancer, and not only that, yeah, he got hurt at the Senior Bowl or whatever the hell that was.
No, it's either the SEC championship game or the national championship.
Yeah, it was in January, and like, of course, he wasn't going to play that first year. Well, probably wasn't going to play that first year, and then of course had leukemia, and then it's going to take a minute. It does take a minute. I think he's eventually going to be a very good wide receiver in the NFL, but give him maybe another year.
Yeah,
he can pop off next year.
Yeah, a couple of years from now, after he's been fully removed from the situation for a while, maybe then we can have the conversation. But like, we got to give him some time to get back to the way that we drafted him, the idea of John Mechie that we had when we drafted him.
And it's not like he's, wide receiver 1. I mean, he's like a wide receiver 3-4. Like, it's not like you guys are depending on him and he's just sucking. Like, he's a role player. So, give him, space.
Yeah. Well, with the injuries of Robert Woods and some others, he's been asked to do a little bit more lately, but, people are still very critical of the man. Mm-hmm. You guys got any closing comments?
Trade Burks.
Go Colts.
Fire him.
Fuck the Titans. Titans hate week.
Colts hate week. We're at 416 subscribers. Trying to get to 420 and then eventually 1,000. 35 like goal on this episode. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content. Boys, thank you for being on and sharing all of your team insights with us. Thank you for watching. Be good people.
Cool.